everyone, and welcome to. Oh my God, we have a show.
It's
No,
a miracle.
yes, it's a
Wunderbar.
miracle. It's a miracle. After missing for man, I think didn't we miss like 3 weeks?
It was
Basically,
they were caught in the midst of Pandaria.
caught them.
See what you did there?
No,
This guy.
we were trying to get jump around vistas. Is what we were trying to do. Welcome to Explosion. I am Nebraska Dave. I have with me Adam Venom
What is up, guys? Good to be back.
and Cosmic Relic.
What up?
And we are missing our fourth member of this, Welch Mosher, because he has a game tomorrow where he is playing rugby for his Dragon team. I don't remember what the actual name of the team is. I know it's Dragons, but
Is it our dragon like in Guild Wars?
there we are. Yeah, probably something along those lines. But anyways, we are here. This is normally a weekly show, except like I said, we kind of missed a couple weeks there because of illness and schedule conflicts and stuff. But we are back. We're going to be moving the show hopefully to Tuesdays on a fairly regular basis instead of Mondays because, quite frankly, Mondays suck.
For everybody.
Nobody likes Mondays. If you like Monday, then you need to just go.
That's right. Monday is not a fun day at all.
No, and especially I know me and Adam both are like dead tired on Mondays, and now with other things going on at night, it's kind of become a real conflict. So yeah, we're going to try to move her to Tuesday and see how well that works. Of course, now we're going to run into conflicts with Mosh's schedule with the rugby, but we'll see how it all works out.
That's what you got me for, right?
That's right. That's right. That's
Now
right.
you just have to have an accent. That's it.
You know, I'm not even gonna attempt it right now. We're just
I actually have a potential alternative person that might join in. I'm still talking to him to find out what his schedule is, so we may have a fourth, but we'll see how that all works out. Anyways, what we do here on Explosion is, of course, we talk about MMOs. This is our show pretty much exclusively about MMOs, although sometimes some other stuff gets creeped in.
Oh, I thought this show was about Dynamite. Now I don't.
No.
Oh.
It could be about massive failures, like NFL refs or something. But no,
Oh.
it's not that.
or Blizzard.
Or Blizzard today, which is coming up.
Yes,
in
exactly.
one minute. Okay, so first thing off the bat, we're going to talk about today. Today is the 15-year anniversary of the MMO that pretty much started it all.
Fucking love this one. Love this game.
Yeah.
Sadly enough, I actually didn't get to play this game. So,
I wonder how many people actually out there know what this game is and actually has played this game.
I don't know.
I mean, I've seen and heard about it, but I've never actually played it because, for me, as far like my first like PC game that I got was WoW, and that was simply because it could be on, like really any machine, and it still pretty much can.
I keep forgetting about audio listeners, guys. We're talking about. They're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Talking about Ultima Online.
I just thought about that. I'm like, we're just talking about like, yeah, I love this MMO.
Yeah, this game, yeah.
They're like, fucking, what is it? What
No.
is this MMO that we're talking about?
We are talking about Ultima Online. Ultima Online was, of course, the infamous Lord British, and created the
Richard
Ultima
Garriott.
series originally, Ultima 1, 2, and 3, and 4. After Ultima 4, they decided to attempt to make this game online. Although Lord British put his name to it, he actually didn't have much in the development of it. The person who actually had the development of this was Raph Koster, who is the person, that Ron wants to kill. But because he moved to SOE after this.
And he pretty much killed this game, too.
Yeah, he did in some ways. but Ralph Koster has a special blog post up on his ralphkoster.com. That's RAPH Koster KOSTER.com, where he talks about the development of this game and the fact that he actually did come from a mud to create, and him and the other people that created the mud called Legends Mud were the four people that initially started building this.
Oh,
After seeing this video, I do have to say I think RuneScape ripped off.
oh, hardcore, dude.
Like, because I look at
Hardcore.
RuneScape and I'm looking at this, and it just looks the same, like the way you navigate buildings and stuff. So
Yes.
Oh yeah, it did completely. The game reminded me like when I first started playing this game, I was playing the infamous Diablo 1. And I was so involved with that game and going around and killing people in that game and taking their ears, which is just weird, but whatever. But so I saw this and I was like, oh, it controls kind of like, oh really? Oh, this controls like Diablo does. I mean, it's not a loot, kind of game like where you go around and like just. Well, I guess it kind of is, really.
It is, but this is the first
Yeah.
game that really that could be really called an MMO because there were other online games at the time. Of course, there was the text games, which were the MUDs and stuff like that. I was on AOL Neverwinter Nights, which was designed like Bard's Tale, and
Totally forgot about that. Yeah.
and so there were games out there that were online, but not only did this marry the graphics, that angle style like the Ultima 3, Ultima 4 had, but it also was the first game that had crafting.
Yeah, and that
And it was hardcore crafting.
it was ridiculous. You would go down and like the mining stuff. Like you had people that just spec'd out their characters to be miners, and that was all they did was mine and have pack mules and get stuff and bring that stuff back. And you would have people that was set in town and like have like you had the blacksmith in town. Well, they would set up right beside of the blacksmith and be like, look, I'm also offering this, but also I can do this for you too and make other things. It was ridiculous. It was freaking.
Oh yeah,
Love
it was
that
the
game.
first. It was the first one that had vendors. It was the
Yeah.
first one that did crafting. The player crafted items were just as good, if not better, than some of the stuff that you could get through drops, which
Yep.
was one of the first things that did that. You actually had the animations where you were cutting down trees and mining and stuff like that. So I mean, a lot of the basics that we all take for granted in MMOs today all really came from Ultima Online when they built it.
Oh, they did a version of it. Now, if a lot of people remember, and I can't think of the Revenge of something. I can't think of the one that did the 3D graphics, and that's when I really started getting into it a lot more. It's because they had the they added 3D graphics to it. I'm like, oh, this is awesome instead of like looking 2D. But it's a great game. It's still around today, believe it or not. That's what's kind of crazy.
Yep. Oh
Wow.
yeah, and they're going to have a special event this week about electing a new, selecting a new king and whole big events and stuff going on. So
Really?
always check it out. Now the site that put this graphic video out, I remember it's one of the first websites I ever visited was uo.stratix.com.
Yeah.
And that was one of the very first websites I remember ever going to as well. So I mean, there is so much history behind this. It's amazing. That it's still here since 1997. They said, but
wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
15 years. This is the longest running MMO out there. Period, and it's still going. Still popular in Japan too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so there you go. Our next item Oops. I should have done this different. Okay. Our next item is actually a sad item for some of us. We will get this started here. City of Heroes. NCSoft, our friends who made Guild Wars 2, decided that City of Heroes just isn't worth putting effort in anymore. And they have decided to close down the first superhero MMO.
You know what kills me is that if they said that, with this new, remember how they went free to play, and then they had this new, you would have, kind of pay for a subscription to be able to have these new skills and these new power sets. And they, people have said with the financial reports of this, that they were making money off of it.
Yeah, they are. I mean, this isn't something that they're losing money on. That's what makes this so strange, why they decided to basically can Paragon Studios, who was the people who made it, and dump it. It doesn't make sense. Now, I had heard a rumor originally that this game, there was something about the licensing between Cryptic, because they were the original owners of it, was Cryptic, and Paragon Studios, but that turns out to be wrong. That turned out to be wrong. So there really still has not been an explanation by NCSoft why they decided to shut this down.
There is people doing protests about this, even celebrities that play this game, which is kind of crazy, that they have been saying, hey, if you need, PR for this stuff, we'll do some, free advertising, no problem. So
yeah, well, they've gotten famous comic book artists like Neil Gaiman and Brian Bendis and some of the other comic artists that I follow on Twitter have backed this up. Mercedes Lackey put her support behind keeping this game open.
Yeah.
There's been a number of other people that have made mentions of it to try to keep the game open. There was the big, huge protest 3 weeks ago, and I actually attended it. They had, you can have about 250 people per instance in the game, and they had 33 instances on one server. Here's the protest here on this server. This was the backup server for protesting. They had 33 instances with about 250 people each, or 150 people each, in it on one server, and they had about half that many on the second and third servers.
Wow!
Sitting in front of the Paragon City Hall, like these people are here. What they have an emote called protest, and that's where all the signs are all coming.
It's like they knew this was gonna happen.
And, well, they've had that protest for a long, long time. I used to have a friend who played a mastermind, which is where the pet class that has all the pets, and he had it programmed so all of his pets would be protesting unfair treatment by the mastermind. So
awesome.
They've always had some fun emotes and stuff like that. But again, this is for a superhero game that was out there. This is still one of the most diverse games out there. It's one of the largest superhero games.
I don't know why they would be shutting it down if they make money off it. The only thing that I could assume, which is probably way off, is that they're just stretched thin across other stuff. Because, you think about it, they've got Blade and Soul, which they're basically westernizing from
I don't even know why they're westernizing
Eastern market. And then they're working on WildStar, and then, of course, there's been talks, Lineage, the Lineage 3 game and all that. So they've got, 3 really big projects. So I would assume that if there was anything, they'd just...
Guild Wars 2 has ate up their customer support.
Oh, yeah. So I would just assume that they've stretched themselves too thin, maybe taking off a little bit more than they can, chew here.
It would be nice if instead of closing this down, they would spin it off and sell it to somebody that would be willing to take it. And I already know who I would say that would take it, but I don't know whether or not that would be a good thing or not in the long run.
Who?
EA.
Ooh.
But
I don't know. I think if they went and sold it off, they would have a lot of big people who have had really good success in the past at flipping these games in free to play, like Gamers First, Perfect World Entertainment and stuff like that.
Well, it won't be
So,
Perfect World because they've got Cryptic and they've got Champions Online.
okay, yeah.
And
So,
Champions Online has been putting out specials ever since this announcement to try to get these people to come over to Champions Online.
mm,
So there is a little, so they've been trying to get the gamers to come try us. DC all of a sudden started announcing more content as well since this came up. So DC Universe with Sony is also trying to get the people to come over to the Sony game, which of course is a lot more joysticky,
yeah,
faster paced game. But we'll see how this works because I'll be honest with you, the guys that are behind City of Heroes are very good programmers, and the fact that they just got laid off, somebody's going to pick them up.
yeah. I mean,
And another company that could potentially do this, but they're currently in financial trouble, would be Funcom. Because
yeah.
they don't have a superhero game. I mean, they don't. Their next game is Lego.
Yeah, but I mean, even if Funcom did have the funds and everything to go back and do this, I don't know. I think with what they've been doing with some of their games and stuff, and how their track record,
Mm-hmm.
I think has just left a
Bad
bad
taste
taste in a lot of people's mouths. So if they put that Funcom name on it, dude, like it's just gonna make people want to leave. A lot of people are gonna be disappointed in it.
And
I
I
think
don't
so.
know if the fact that the Marvel Heroes game that's coming out, which is a pseudo MMO, it's a Diablo 2 style MMO, which I still don't know how that's all going to work when you have 15 Iron Men running around. But, well, maybe you can do it with Iron Man and Spider-Man considering they have that many costumes. But, you know what I mean?
So the Marvel Heroes game is gonna be, it's gonna be like the Diablo kind of style,
Yes.
from like the top down kind of view ish.
Just like we just saw with the Ultima Online, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, see, I mean, that could work because you look at
But the thing is
the
instead of creating... City of Heroes has always been create your own character. It's create you or create your concept of characters.
yeah,
Marvel is you're playing the Marvel characters.
yeah.
There's no customization at all.
I still think it'll work out because I mean, you look at
You're going to get a ton of people just because they're Marvel fans for that game.
yeah. Plus,
DC,
anybody
you
who
create
played
your own character.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance on the Xbox, it seems like from that
It's
kind of
very
angle stuff,
similar.
it's going to be very similar. Which I enjoyed them, so
I got them.
check that
I
out.
own both of them. I loved Ultimate Alliance, so I'm hoping that it actually comes out like that because I like those games. But,
Yeah,
well, it's Gazillion, and I'm not particularly... Gazillion's kind of got the bad taste in my mouth that Funcom sometimes does. So, we'll see. That's going to be a grain of salt. Well, the gameplay I've seen is... It looks more like League of Legends gameplay, so we'll see how that Marvel game comes out. But with the Marvel being announced and actually having playable demos, and DC, of course, being still semi-popular, especially on the PS3, and then the Champions Online still out there and being not losing money. I mean, they're breaking even or doing better than that. So
yeah.
I guess they just guessed that, well, we're going to lose more and more people, so we may as well shut it. That's the only thing I could think they did. So, but there is an online petition. Goes out on Google search for City of Heroes online petition. I have signed it. I encourage other people to sign it because this game is still good. I still have a tie to this game because this game released a month before my mother passed away.
Yeah.
And when she passed away, I sat on this game 24 hours a day for a week, literally, because I was so depressed. It was the one game that kept me going. So,
Yeah. And it just doesn't make sense for them as, like a company standpoint to shut it down if they're making money off of it,
yeah, I just don't.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, there's got to be something that they're, just keeping away from everybody, which I think is just wrong, It's like, if at least let the people who have been dedicated to the game, and been there for a long time and enjoyed it, don't just screw them over. Let them know what's going on. I think anybody who's been playing the game for that long deserves the right to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm back because City of Heroes heard that I was going to be mad. They decided that they were going to get rid of me.
So okay, go ahead and talk, Adam. What
Free DC again.
put your 2 cents into on this that we Cosmic already have. So
I just don't even understand. Like I said, you're making money, so people will still enjoy it. People are still keeping it going. So, there you go. Keep it up and running. Don't be a douchebag and be like, oh, now check out this brand new shiny game over here. You'll like this one better. No. Like, dude, City of Heroes had one of the best character creations I've ever seen in my life in a game. Ever. Like, by far, the best I've ever seen. And they're just douchebags. That's all there is to it. They're thinking, and what they are is, it's, NCSoft is what kind of a company? Where is it based out of?
Korea.
Exactly. So they look at the, over here, because this is a Western game. They're like, it's not doing as well as, Aeon, so, screw it. We don't need it. So
They should have dumped Aeon before they dumped this. That's my point.
Yeah.
Dude, over there it does great.
Oh, no, I realize that. Over there, it's
over here it
fantastic.
sucks completely.
Yeah.
Well, if they would have done this more anime style, they might have been in better shape. But, neither here nor there. This game was originally created by, like I said, Cryptic Studios before Cryptic spun off. And
Yeah, Heidi was asking in the chat for the petition info.
let me find it real quick for you.
I still can't believe they're shutting down. That's stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like I said, there's got to be something in the background that they're not telling us, which, it's just like every other company, there is that there. But I just think that they need to tell, their players what's
change
going on.
City of Heroes
actually-
2!
No, they're not doing that, though. That's the thing.
That's so dumb.
See,
They said that they ought to let the company just go off, and it's Paragon.
yeah, but they're
Studios.
instead of that, they're just firing them. Okay, for some reason I can't post it into the stupid chat. Chat loves me. The petition is change.
Post it in Skype, I'll post it in chat.
Okay, well, I unfortunately got 2 computers going here.
Ah.
Yeah. All right, hold on a second. Let me find it. I will find it. I will find it. I will find it. So you're gonna have to put up with this for a second. Copy.
Let's see.
Boom. There you go. Go ahead and post that in the chat.
Whoosh.
Oh, did you already get it?
What? No.
Okay, I heard and I was like,
It means he might be logging into his actual server, or he's still stuck in queue.
I got in, but I keep getting disconnected, and I keep having to throw my character back. I'm basically just sitting here spamming spacebar because it just won't let me in.
Okay.
good
Again,
job, Larry.
we will be getting to this in a moment again, like I mentioned.
I would just like to say good job, Blizzard.
I'm gonna try and remain calm as we do the show.
I'm just saying, this is wow. It's just...
Okay, a game that we used to play, and actually I think Heidi still might be playing it, I'm not sure.
I highly doubt that. I think there's only like a select handful of people from Blacklisted who are still playing this game.
Alright. The new patch for Old Republic.
The fact that we're still talking about this game, though, is a miracle in itself.
Well, it's going to go free to play by the end of the year, So it's going to be around.
Yeah, with restrictions, like the worst restrictions I've ever seen for any free to play.
You haven't seen Aeons.
I have seen Aeons, but I mean, do they limit how many war zones and dungeons and stuff you can do a week?
Oh no, I don't know.
No.
Exactly. That's SWOTOR. So.
Ooh, look, you can play a cat. Okay. Anyways, this is SWTOR. They've got their new patch. I believe it's when is this releasing? I didn't spot that. It's either today or next week. This patch comes out. It's supposed to add the new race, the new battleground, the new war zones, new custom items, new emotes. Yay!
Hmm.
Anyways, so yeah, SWTOR is still going on. They're still pushing stuff. So, well, here we go. Here's another one. This is another video. This might actually have a little
At least
better
it's tomorrow. Saying
tomorrow. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
SWTOR website.
Pardon me while I get rid of the stupid ad here. Okay, get out of there. All right. This is one of the guilds that put this up here.
A little piece of your soul dies. I'm sorry. I have a collector's edition box sitting on my mini fridge that I have in plain sight from where I'm sitting, so I know.
I, sir, on the other hand, have
Shut up.
you know, I'm just saying,
I didn't buy that either, thank God.
I'm very disappointed. This damn game. This game fucked me. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna buy it. This game's gonna be shit. Then
I was the same way.
I know, but I
was so
instantly said
anti-SWTOR.
that it was gonna be such shit. I was like, this game's gonna be shit. And all of a sudden, next thing I know is the MMO bug comes along, bites me in the ass, and I'm like, this is not bad.
Yep.
Story, yeah. Digging it, and then it's the shit. And
Yeah.
it's like, all right, 2 weeks or 2 months have ran out. So
Same thing happened to me, and I learned from this. Why did buy TSW?
Hey, I still like my TSW, so you can't get me.
When's the last time you played it? Exactly.
And we wait.
You're like,
I've got lifetime though, damn it, I don't care.
When was Guild Wars 2 released? Let's see, that was okay.
Yeah, I know. I've been hooked on Guild Wars 2.
all right, now Guild Wars 2. Do you have a lifetime subscription for that? You don't need it.
Exactly. Okay. So anyways, we used to play this game until we discovered it had no end game. And then we stopped playing this game.
Oh, it had in
Oh,
game.
it had in game. It just ended. There you
Very careful in game.
The in game means that you end your subscription, and there's your in game because you don't play this shit anymore.
But don't forget that was wonderful PvP games, like Hutball and Hutball.
Hutball was fun
And,
as fuck.
Hutball was fun
fun
until you played it 100,000 times because you
Well,
couldn't get into the other ones.
Just to clarify, my big problem with the game, real quick, is not the fact that it was terrible, because PvP was awesome, My big problem with it is they were like, oh yeah, we have this in-game rating, all that stuff. But yet, it was such a pain in the ass to find a group for anything in that game, right? Because they had no, feature in there to help with that, to make it quicker, where you didn't have to spend 2 hours. And two is, from what I heard, is that all the raids and everything like that were so bugged out that people they just stopped doing them because they were so broken.
Oh yeah, with the turrets. Remember the turrets kept going immune.
So,
immune.
you had this game that they were saying, oh yeah, we have PvP in here, but we also have this awesome PvE, piled up over here for you. And then you get in there, and it turns out that nobody's doing the PvE because it's broken. It turns out that, it was just basically PvP at endgame.
One feature I want to see them take from this game is, that they did with, that they've done very well with Guild Wars 2. With Warhammer. Remember how Warhammer had the events and you would kind of the quests together and stuff like that? That was really freaking awesome, and Guild Wars put that in their game. I want somebody to take the questing options where you can group together with people, and when you're talking to people, you have, where the dialogue comes up and you roll on it to see who gets what and who says what, and you, because you know what I'm talking about, right? Where the three little things come up.
What they had in here.
Yeah, and it affects the storyline to the way you're playing it. You'd be like, no, I don't want to kill these people. And if you played along with me, as Jay and everybody else in this house did, and some of the people, Well, it was LagSpike and Blacklisted. I was a dick. I just wanted to kill everything. It didn't
Oh
matter.
yeah, that's how we
How it
were.
worked.
Everybody
It's
who
like,
we ran with our group was like dark side this, fuck light side.
well,
You want light side? Go
it's
fucking
weird because
Republic.
I play games like I'd play if I wouldn't go to jail for shit that I would do in real life, I would be like, let's just fucking kill this person. We just don't need these people.
I mean,
There you
it
go.
was the game. The game was awesome with the dungeons and stuff when you had people, when you're leveling up, little 5-man groups. But it was the raiding stuff that really killed it. And I mean, it was an amazing game, and I would go back and play it if they didn't have such harsh restrictions on the free to play.
Yeah,
I would go play it. It's just I'm not going to go back and play a free-to-play game where I feel I'm forced to pay a sub to progress.
Well,
That's just
I-
not going to happen.
I have a friend who, after I left this game, kind of I haven't talked to since because he was like all in for this game, and I told him, dude, it's really got some issues, and he took offense to that, and I really haven't talked to him since. But I think he's still playing it. He's still, through the server consolidations and
Hey, there's some
pitches,
people like
and
to
there
go
are a
out
lot of
and
people that are
collect
still
garbage
fans
daily.
of it. I mean, we can't. I can't say anything about it. I mean, they've lost a lot of people, but the people that are still there are hardcore.
Yeah, I mean,
What can you say?
the thing that would get me to actually probably resub is if they fix all the bugs with the rating and shit like that, and actually had a feature kind of like a looking for group feature, like WoW has, for example, which we've seen in lots of basically any other MMO that's come out in the past like 2 or 3 years. Has had it except for SWOTOR that I've seen. It's ridiculous. So
Yeah,
like
they
Rift had
definitely
it
need to
and
do
all that.
something.
So.
Rift, damn it, man!
I mean,
Still,
Rift has some good pieces too. I mean,
I still love that game. I really do. It's just part of me that's just like I have an MMO now that I don't have to fucking pay for all the
Yeah.
time, and that's the big thing. Is like with MMOs, you feel like you're so like, and I had to play it because I'm paying for it, and that sucks. That feeling sucks, And Guild Wars has definitely hit it for me because I haven't played Secret World. Secret World has just fell off for me. It's just I'm not a. I don't know. I love it. I really do. But there's this.
Apparently, it's fell off for a lot of other people too. That's why it's going all APB on us. Oh, snaps! Went there.
That's the reason why their main lead developer, gone.
well,
They're
you know
putting out
what?
new
Since we're
content.
talking Secret World, let's bring her up.
I was just looking over. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh,
That's...
do we have Secret World?
Yes, we do.
Well, shit. I'm
We do
sorry.
have TSM stuff. Oh,
I'm skipping ahead. That's what I do.
hey.
You aren't skipping ahead. That was going to be the next thing we brought up, dude. One of the next things I brought up.
I knew it. That's why I did it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket. Anyways, okay.
That's why.
Secret World. They just came out with Digging Deeper last week.
Finally.
Which is their second issue, which got delayed 2 weeks in the first place. Tomorrow they're releasing the issue 3.
That makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so
Hold your breath on that.
It's like, okay.
Like, do you not want to let people play through the original content of it?
Well, hey, that's how you got to keep people interested. You can't let them get to the end and just be at a brick wall. You got to keep just shoving
guess
it out there to where they
Well,
just feel overwhelmed.
I think they had some development problems because of all of the issues that they had in the company that
Yeah.
caused that delay. But they had a separate team working on the third part, the third issue. So that's why the third issue looks to be in Egypt instead of Kingsmouth. So it's going to be. They were able to develop it separately. That's why it's so fast that it's coming out.
You just have that team.
Okay, let's go back because since we haven't had Explosion since all the chaos happened, Funcom came out with the numbers that said only 200,000 people bought the game.
Which surprises me because a lot of people I knew bought it. Like you bought it.
Yeah.
I bought it. A lot of people in Blacklisted bought it.
Right.
And a lot of different other guilds bought it. So
Yeah. So, but I kind of knew it was going to be somewhat of a niche game, anyways. but only 200,000 people bought it. So they had to lay off a number of staff at Funcom. One of the people they laid off was the lead developer, like Adams mentioned. It then came to light that the former CEO of Funcom, who had suddenly resigned before those numbers came out, had tried to do a little selling of his stock options right before those numbers came out, which
Isn't that called
in
inside
legal
trading?
terms, it ain't. That's not legal. That's called insider trading.
Wow.
And so now he's in trouble.
And that makes you wonder, like, where that whole company's going now.
Well,
Because
Funcom really knows how to choose them.
dude,
What-
I'll admit, I loved. I mean, one of the games that really intrigued me was Anarchy Online. I enjoyed the hell out of that game because it was different than everything else out there. It was completely different. It wasn't like you were playing through, oh, it's all medieval and stuff like that. It was futuristic and it was awesome. Loved it. And just, I had a lot of faith in Conan. And I watched a couple videos of Conan, and I was like, I'll play it. The first island was great. Loved that. I was like, man, this is freaking awesome. This is going to be great. And then all of a sudden, we left the first island, and it sucked. Everything was in valleys, pretty much, and it was horrible. And then I was like, okay, TSW. And I was on the fence with buying TSW. I really was. And then I bought it, and I enjoyed it for a while. Then it just faded off again.
Yeah.
And
So, okay. So then, just a couple days ago, they announced that the lead content developer on the project, Joel Bylos, got moved up. So now he's taking over.
oh, so Joel from Nerd Junkies is
No.
taking over. I
Not
knew
Rios,
it. I knew that's
Bylos.
where he. Oh,
Sorry.
damn it.
It would have been interesting if it was Joe Rios, considering he doesn't play MMOs.
Maybe that's why it's failing because he doesn't play it.
But Ragnar Tornquist is now going to become the creative director as well of the game. So he's getting his hands back into the game. He had gotten moved out, now he's coming back in. So they're trying to shore up, saying, no, don't panic. We've still got people here that know this game, that love this game, and we're going to put them back in. We're putting them back in charge. Now, what makes me wonder what happened on this entire thing is because Anarchy Online's head developer just left as well. So
man.
I'm wondering if they are tied to what happened with the CEO, and they're cleaned out these people because they may be implicated in what happened to him, and they're just trying to clean the slate.
See, that's got me in question too, because if you'll remember, Anarchy Online was supposed to have that brand new update with a brand new graphics engine. So, what's up with that? We haven't seen anything from that forever. So,
So I'm wondering if this might be fallout from Trond Ong, or whatever his name was, that was the CEO, all the shady stuff he was doing. I'm wondering if some of these other people that are getting cut are actually behind the scenes. It's because they're worried there's might be legal implications, so they kind of trimmed those guys out of there to get them out of there.
See, this is making me wonder where MMOs are going to be going, though, in the future, is because of, you know, how everybody was like, yeah, well, I play EverQuest, and a lot of people, you tell somebody you played EverQuest, they'd be like, what is that? Okay.
I know, that scares the mess out of me now.
Yeah, now you say, I play WoW, and everybody knows what you're talking about. Okay. Now, everybody saw, WoW made it. I mean, WoW's made it. I don't give a shit when people sit there and say that, WoW's a piece of crap. Hey, listen here. They make money, so they must be doing something right. You know what I mean? So, that's my take on it.
They've gone from 6 million to 5 million people.
Yeah, you're gonna have people drop in, drop out.
But I mean, you look at how long they've been. Yeah,
exactly. They've been out there 7 years.
So,
I mean, what's the last time you said that you play a 7-year-old game? Still.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I think a lot of these companies saw WoW do this, and they're like, "What? Are you shitting me? They make how much, and how many people play their game? Oh, well, we can fucking do that, no problem." So all of a sudden, next thing you know is all these people jump on the MMO bandwagon, and they're like, "We're going to create the greatest game ever, and it's going to be like this and this and this," and then all of a sudden it sucks, and then all of a sudden you see companies like, SOTOR. Who just left from there? Oh, we're talking BioWare's main two guys left BioWare. Something's up where people get and jumping on this bandwagon of making MMOs and think it's going to be the greatest thing ever, and when it flops, they don't know what to do, and it breaks them.
Yeah, I think it is. It's very discouraging. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I think with a lot of these people who jump into the MMO market, they need to pair up with another company because, like, you know, for instance, like BioWare, perfect example. You look at their games; they're single player, like story-driven games, right? So if they would have paired up with someone who's actually had experience in making MMO games, probably would have been way better. You know, you have BioWare working on the whole story aspect of the whole, you know, SWTOR game, and then you have the other developer basically put together, you know, the MMO part. I think that would have been way better. I think the game would have succeeded a lot. And another thing is, I see a lot of these companies basically just hyping up their game, making promises that they end up not being able to keep, you know? And I think that's one of the things you really got to watch out for, is instead of just saying, oh yeah, our game is going to be this awesome, blah, blah, blah. No, it's like, you know, if you're talking about it, you know, most of the time when they do, they've got like a preview of it over here, you know? It's like, let the game speak for itself before you start,
well,
you know.
That actually comes down to something that I posted yesterday, actually, on our news.
That's LagSpike.tv/news.
Thank you. The executive producer for Star Trek Online, Dan Stahl, who I know, I've met a couple times now, came out and said, you know, his game, Star Trek Online, is getting a little bit of a short shrift, and I agree with him. When Star Trek Online first came out, there were problems with it. To be very honest with you, a lot of people weren't expecting the game that came out, for one, and when it got out there, a lot of people, you know, it turned off a lot of people. There were bugs in it, especially with ground combat and some other things. Well, over the years now, you know, it's been, what, 3-4 years now that they've developed and worked, and they got their Foundry thing where the players can create missions. They've got a number of other pieces that they've added. You know, the game honestly has improved from what it was originally released. But they're stuck now still with that low Metascore.
Yep, and that bad stigma that's along with it.
Yeah,
I played the game.
I mean,
Age of Conan, Lord of the Rings Online, Dungeons and Dragons Online have all improved themselves from their launch.
Eve Online.
Yeah.
That's a huge one.
Yeah, they've all improved themselves from launch, but they're still stuck with those low Metacritic scores. Now you've got SWTOR. SWTOR has a high Metacritic score.
See, I don't even think MMOs should even have a score, though. How do you rate an MMO? Do you go back and do you recap it? Because that's really what I think a lot of things ought to do. Is every so often, every year, every quarter, however long the game's been out, that you go back through and you revamp it, and you say, okay, this has changed, and this has changed, and this has changed. I really think they need to do that because, I mean, MMOs change constantly because sometimes you play a game and it's like, you know, down the lines, they patch stuff and it's not the original game that you played in the very beginning.
Right. Well, even WoW is not the original game in the beginning.
No.
And EverQuest is not the original game you had in the beginning. EverQuest 2 is not the original game you have in the beginning. All of these games, though, are stuck with those original Metascores, which in some cases, as we learned, there was pay-to-play involved in some of those original Metascores, especially back further 3 to 7 years ago. There was a little bit of, you know, under-the-hand shifty money changing that basically bribes, I'll be honest, bribes, to get these guys higher scores. But these games have changed since then. It's not like Mass Effect 1. You've got Mass Effect 1, it's not changing. Oh, yeah, there might be a couple DLCs, but it's still not changing the entire damn game. Some of these games
I don't
have
know.
had
It depends
complete
if you vote
graphics
on enough
redos.
if you want the ending changed or not.
But that's what I'm just saying. You cannot. It's really hard in these cases. MMOs get the short shrift on Metacritic scores no matter what, because of the fact that the games change over time. Almost all of them. Some change for the worse, but a lot of them change for the better, and they're stuck. And of course, like what happened with Funcom, they missed their or who was it? Obsidian Entertainment missed the Metascore rating that they needed for a bonus by 1 point.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I don't even know why they do that. Why in the hell do they go through?
People rely too much on that Metascore, and unless the game can get re-rated down the line, it's unfair to these MMOs. I just wanted to bring all that topic up.
But the problem is with that shit is that's the main reason why on LagSpike.tv that we wanted to make sure that like none of the games that we review are this is a score of this and this, because well, I mean we want to do that like with scoring, but we want to say who it's from. It isn't the LagSpike.tv's point of view completely. It's this person's point of view. And another person who's played that game, it's going to have another score, another review that they want to throw in there also. So you can be like, okay, me and Cosmic kind of like the same games. I'm going to look at his and see what he said in the review. And, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah, maybe I don't need to play that game. That's the problem with these Metacritics, is because you have a lot of companies out there that they will allow early, like, this is something that's come up in the tech world lately, is that they call, good reviews, is that, hey, we'll send you a product early if you give us a positive review, that you're not allowed to add in any of the negatives at all. You just got to give all positives of what you found, it was enjoyable with the product and stuff like that. And I guarantee you that a lot of these, game companies and a lot of these, the people in the video game industry are doing this shit too. Hey, we'll give you early beta access, let you play around with it. We'll give you all this press, release, give you an exclusive interview if you rate our product a little bit better. Guarantee it. I guarantee it. And that's why they're dicks.
Well, and that's why one of the reasons why we created LagSpike, and why we're going to have you, as in you watching us, do reviews.
Yeah. Don't want to make it one of the things where it's like, people will be like, oh, well, they got, paid off by this company for a good review. No, it's like, it's not how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, another game that isn't quite an MMO, it's more of a shooter, but it's tied to an MMO, is Dust 514, which is going to be exclusive to the PS3, if I remember correctly.
The chubby creator.
One of the few games I actually wish I had a PS3 for.
Yeah. This game is going to be... It's now rumored to potentially be coming out here in October, which seems a little quick for me. And I'm hoping that Stu, when he goes... Our man Stu, when he goes to Eurogamer this weekend, can find out a little bit more about.
Yeah, that'll be on Thursday, guys. We're going to try to live stream with Eurogamer. We'll tell you more at the end of the show. But, yeah, it's going to be... It's UK time, by the way. So don't think it's going to be...
Yeah, that's going to be real early in the morning. And actually, I'm going to try to make it the first day.
Yeah.
Which means I'm going to be sleeping.
But
you just see Adam being like, all right, guys, I have coffee.
it ain't doing it anymore.
We have Stu. I don't know where he's at. I can't even see the screen. Stu, tell people what the hell you're looking at. All right, there we go.
But with Dust 514, I mean, if as far it being like seeming too soon, I don't know about that, because they have been doing betas for like the past 2.5, close probably to 3 months, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know in the most recent ones, they've been posting out information that they've been testing out their integration with Eve.
Right.
So I mean, if they're saying October, I would probably say late October. That would be my guess on it. Seems like they've got it kind of worked out to where it's going to be functional and work out pretty smoothly. So I don't know. I think it'll be kind of interesting to see. I think what they're doing is freaking amazing. Actually tying it in, a shooter in with an MMO like that.
Oh, that's freaking awesome! And the
think
money
it's
and
brilliant.
just damn you, Eve! If I liked your freaking air combat or your space combat, you suck me right in. But you can't.
They need
to revamp that crap.
Simplified version Eve for retards.
I really need Eve for dummies, and I'm just gonna sit here and that's the only game that I've ever been like, I don't get it, I don't understand. I want to understand because all the stories that you hear are freaking awesome.
By the way,
stole this
there was another story about Eve that I didn't have on here since we're talking about this. They said the top players on Eve have basically, since you can buy money with real cash, you can trade back and forth money in-game cash.
Right.
Their top player has destroyed like $37,000 worth of items, real money.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Their
top killer of player ships has destroyed basically about the equivalent of $37,000.
Yeah, that is by far one of the most in-depth and competitive games that I have seen.
Have you tried it?
I played around with the free trial of it, and my brother had an actual subscription to it like a while back for a couple of months. And I saw how in-depth it was, and like when I played the demo, I sat down here and I was like, no. I got so lost because there's such a learning curve there that it is freaking ridiculous. But
they said there's a new tutorial out, so that I might actually just go ahead and say screw it, do a subscription to it, because they keep sending me crap all the time.
Yeah.
Come play this, you retard.
But it's an extremely competitive game, and it's totally different. Like it's relentless. You see the stories come out of there. I know. I think it was like months back, if not like sometime last year or something like that. We had that story about that guy who basically scammed an entire freaking clan.
Yeah.
Out of
corporation.
They're called corporations in the game.
Corporations. Like out of what was it, like a couple 100,000, if not like close to 1 million.
Yeah.
Fucking like real life dollars of like in-game stuff. So this dude made like a fortune just off of that, and people were so pissed off about it. We're like, oh my god, are developers gonna do something about that? Developers straight up came out and said, no, that's part of Eve. We want that in there. We want it to be like real life. There's corruption in real life. It's in our game. It's like you have to be careful about who you ally
give all the officer too, because that's what it was. The guy worked his way up to guild officer and then walked away with their entire guild bank.
Yeah.
See, my question is this: have y'all seen like any of the like they have? Oh, I can't think what they're called. It's E-Fest or something like that, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember what they call it. Yeah, no.
But it's like where they have panels and stuff like that. No, where they have the panels and they sit there and everybody sits down and asks questions to them. Yeah. Listening to the developers talk about this game and how people ask questions about, we give you the playground, or the sandbox, as they want to say, and whatever you want to do with it, you do with it. So what do you want to play around with next? And that's what's really freaking awesome, because they're creating their own world in this game, and it's just like I said, it's stories to be able to tell. That you're like, oh well, I mean, we have some epic stories of stuff that we've done in games and things like that.
But EVE Online.
Yeah, EVE Online Fan Fest. That's it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Well, I don't want to really bring it up too much, but obviously Eve is run by the CIA, at least according to Glenn Beck. But heard that story. The
Uh,
one of those one of those representatives at one point in time, not this last year, but I guess a year before, was Vile Rat. And if you didn't hear, Vile Rat was one of the people that was killed in the Libyan embassy.
yeah.
So EVE Online has all of a sudden become a little bit more well known to a lot of people because of his association with Goonswarm.
Yeah.
And because Vile Rat was Goonswarm's rep, and that got onto the player board. And he was in Libya, and he was the aide that was killed along with the ambassador. So there's been a lot more noise about EVE Online, but nobody ever describes what EVE Online plays like.
Yeah.
We've all played it, so
it's a really relentless game, and I think the integration that they're having with Dust 514 and Eve is so unique. Like, for anybody who doesn't know, basically they're tying in the shooter with this, ship MMO, space, combat MMO, and basically, from what I've heard, that you're going to be able to do is actually be able to call in like strikes and like airdrops and stuff from like an Eve player who's in a ship orbiting the planet you're fighting on.
Isn't that
So I like instantly I heard that and I was like, oh, if only I still had my PlayStation 3. I was like, so it's going to be an amazing game. Is it going to be free to play?
yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be free to
Yeah,
play.
so
Yes,
Dust
it'll be free to
514,
play.
anyone who owns a PS3 is going to be free to play. So definitely, I would, if you love shooters and you want this huge immersive, battlefield,
Oh, me?
definitely going to be a game that you're going to want to watch out for.
Yep. And I think there's only going to be one game that's going to even come close to this integration like they've got, and that's going to be Defiance because of its integration with the television show, which is even taking it one more step, in my opinion. But we'll see. And of course, that's Tryon that's doing that. So I mean, both of these are excellent companies. They both.
I
really
think
good
that
stuff,
it
so.
maybe possibly I think there's going to be some epic stories that come out of PlanetSide too. Also, when they get that crap fixed.
Yeah, see, I'm absolutely loving where a lot of these developers are going now because we're seeing these really huge, expansive, and more immersive games, like Dust 514, you got Defiance coming out, you got PlanetSide 2, and I mean, even like Firefall and stuff. I mean, you just got these huge worlds where they're just like, alright, well, we got the game, have fun, go, kill, blow shit up, take over the world, have fun. It's your world now. Like, that's amazing. I think more developers need to do that. It's a brilliant idea.
Okay. Of course, the game that at least I've been hooked on here for the last 2 weeks, and the other guys, when they've been able to play it or have been doing real well on, is, of course, Guild Wars 2, which was released in the first week we missed.
Yeah.
with Explosion. We are playing on the Darkhaven server, but that really doesn't matter all that much, I've learned, which is really nice.
Yeah. It's
Really?
Yeah, they've actually Guild Wars 2 has a really unique system in the way their servers work. They're not technically servers.
Right.
They act more as just kind of like channels, really. So that way, like, you can invite someone from a different server to your group, and you can actually run dungeons with them and shit.
Mhm.
And and I believe as long as you're in the Overflow server as them, I believe you can see them and actually do quests with them, I think.
Yes.
So they're
only-
not so much servers as they are
the
just kind of
only-
like channels.
The only thing, again, very similar to Secret World, the only real thing that it matters on is the world versus world PvP. And even
World
then, it
versus-
really doesn't. You can still
it's mainly world versus world and tournaments.
right.
In the structured PvP, because the structured tournaments are pretty much specific, like, to your own group. So you can't have someone from a different server on your tournament group. I learned from one of my hardcore PvP buddies who plays. So
I'm hardcore.
Well, if you were hardcore Adam, you'd be 80 like Cosmic and I both are.
Are you seriously 80 already?
Dude, I was
Right.
80 like, what, week and a half ago?
Well, I knew you were 80. Dave's 80 already. Damn it.
Abe is a crafting beast. That's why. He's a crafting
Ah.
I have every discoverable cooking recipe in the game. I am Iron Chef.
Cosmic took the difficult way. Not just crafting. No. I grinded my way. I may have used
because of that.
the Manor dungeon from 72 to 80, but you know what? That's not the point. You know, before they fixed it. I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm 80 when I go into PvP.
When you go into the PvP, yes.
Yeah, but no. Actually, that is one thing I just kind of want to bring up is because I didn't know about this. They actually had something to where the Catechist's Manor in Queensdale,
Yeah.
which is the 40 dungeon, if you actually ran that, you got so much XP. Like, it was ridiculous because you could just keep speedrunning it, taking the same route, and you would get like 100 and something thousand XP per one.
Didn't they just nerf that?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they literally nerfed it the morning after I hit 80 because of it. Because I didn't know about it, and I grew up with some people, and we just kept running through it. I was like, how many times are we going to do this? Like, dude, have you not been paying attention to your XP? And I was like, no. And I looked down, and I was 72, and we went through like 4 runs, and I was like 74, 75. I was like, holy crap. And we finished that run. I had like 173,000 XP for finishing.
But the thing is, with that game, it didn't even matter if you hit fucking 80.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's what's crazy.
It only matters your trait points and your skill points. That's it.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy about that. That's what I love about that game because it's like, it's so many times, you have friends like you two assholes, already hit 80, and you have a guy who doesn't really play as much as he should. But yeah, me. I'm a lower
Becky
level.
actually has leveled up past you, I think, by now.
Are you shitting me? I've been beat by a girl. Damn it. Hey, the funny thing is like with this is you can go certain areas have levels on them and they have like a cap on the level. So you enter into it, you're you're level 80. Oh, now it says level 12, or something like that, which I fucking love. I think that's cool as shit.
Yeah, but the fix that they actually did was just to kind of fix the whole speedrunning thing, where you wouldn't keep getting that. Essentially, what they did is they had it to where if you just take the same path through the instance or the dungeon, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but there are like 2 or 3 different ways through the dungeon that you can go. So there's different paths, depending on how you do something or whatever you talk to certain someone, you can go on a different route through the dungeon. And basically what it is, if you take the same dungeon or the same path through the dungeon, it'll basically nerf your XP and gold you get. But they said, hey, you can take, you can take like path A, complete that, and then do path B, and then go back to path A or whatever, and just basically bounce between them. But they've actually added some mobs to the Catechist Manor instance. I don't know if they did it with any of the other ones, but they actually added a champion and some extra paths and stuff into it when they did that patch. So it's
interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. They're actually starting to patch up their game, do some balance issues and stuff like most recent patch notes, for instance. They finally tweaked the Necromancer class, which needed it because it gets obliterated in PvP, but it's a totally different story.
That's because you suck.
Yep.
Nope.
But the nice thing is that Stu, who's at 42, and me, who's at 80, we could both be in the same zone, and we're both knocked out back to level 35, so we're equal to what the mobs are. We get the experience, and we get but we can play together. We've been doing that, and that. So even though Adam is, in his 20s on his character, even with my level 80, I can come back and play with him. And that's what's great It's like an
Yeah, it's just not
auto
like,
mentoring
running off without me
sidekick
kind of
system,
stuff.
and it's just you don't go up, but you go down. But that's fine. For me, being that I'm 80 now I can go back and do whatever, and or I got a low level character, I can do. I've got two more low level characters now. The other thing that they do, which they allow, which is there's been a little controversy on this, is you can be in multiple guilds.
Yeah.
And you represent whichever guild, and that's the one that gets the points for your whatever you're doing. But you can actually be in multiple guilds.
Right, be able to switch. Okay, I play with these guys at this time. I play with these guys at this time. So
Even with your
honestly,
same
that
character.
doesn't really bother me because
As long as you're honest about it.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, it doesn't come down to PvP of, oh, you're in that guild? Well, we hate that guild. It's, you're doing world, so that's the overall thing, so you're
Yeah,
fighting against other servers. So.
I think the only thing that it's really going to come down to is later on when they actually start releasing stuff for guilds, because anybody who played Guild Wars 1 and messed around with the guild features on there, they actually had guild versus guild matches. That you access through your guild hall, and I think on the wiki that they actually did say somewhere that they plan on eventually bringing guild halls into Guild Wars 2, which is going to be amazing. And if they bring in guild versus guild, then they're going to have to put in some restrictions on when or how many times, like a day or a week or whatever, you can switch, between representing guilds.
Yeah, they were talking about they're going to put a limitation on how many times you could switch.
Yeah.
Once a day. You could switch once a day or something like that they were talking about.
Oh, yeah, I'd do it once a week.
Yeah, I think it was just once a day, I think is what they were talking about. So, I mean, one day you can play with your buddies over here, and the next day you can play with,
that's true.
Yeah.
So I think that's the way they're going to do it, which is, perfectly fine with me. I think that's a great idea. I mean, it would be nice, I haven't talked to my RP buddies from Secret World that I still talk to, and that, and I know they're in Guild Wars 2, but it would be nice to be able to be in both our guild and their guild. That way I could jump over there and roleplay, or whatever, but it would be great, that would be kind of a fun thing to be able to do too. So, we'll see how that all works out. Our last item of the day, and the one that Cosmic now will be allowed to rage about.
God, dude, this fucking game.
There it is, folks. Panda Pokemon.
My pandas and my Pokemons here. It is finally come. It's
Released
finally
today.
come. Yes. Everybody can now get their pandas and Pokemon on their World of Warcrafts.
So, alright, so you've been playing Warcraft for how long now?
Since probably like a month and a half before Burning Crusade actually came out. I remember that because I hit 60 the day before Burning Crusade came out, and I was like, yeah, I was so happy, went to sleep. Next day, woke up, Burning Crusade was out, I had another 10 levels to go. I was so pissed. But yeah.
So I played I was in beta in the very beginning, and it was alright. It was okay game, but like, everybody gets wild over this thing. So like, what's the big major, people who played, older WoW and want to jump back in, what's the selling points of this?
Well, like any expansion, they do have a lot of new features. Like, of course, you got the pet battles, so it's a nice little pastime, because you know how, like, you're in queue for a dungeon, right, and, like, you're max level or some crap like that, and you just sitting in Stormwind. Well, now that they have this, you can pass the time by going out and you can duel your friends with your non-combat companions, which were just for looks before. They actually have a purpose now, so you can duel people with that, you can capture new ones. So that's cool. And
now, where do you do this at? Is it like, does it take you to another screen whenever you're doing this with each other, or does it show
it basically phases you and the person you're battling, or if you're just trying to capture a critter and you're fighting the critter or whatever, it'll phase you guys out to where people can't see your fight going on, which is the only downside of that, because I think that'd be awesome if you could see other people's fights. But it phases you guys out. But I mean, when you're actually fighting, you can see what's going on around you while you guys are fighting.
Right.
So, I mean, but yeah, you pretty much just go right there and just like, fight.
It'd be really cool if they had like a arena. You know what I mean? Where you take
Yeah,
these
well,
things
they
into an
they
arena
have
and
this
everybody
whole
can see them.
new like UI. Like they really did a good job with the system because it literally is like Pokemon. They have these different types of companions. Like you have undead companion, or a pet. You'll have a magic pet. You'll have like elemental, beast, critter, mechanical, or whatever, and it'll tell you when you scroll over them and stuff like their abilities, like this will do increased damage to this type, or whatever, or you'll take more damage from this type of creature. So it's a really in-depth system. I think it's awesome, but if you're a really kind of, I guess, like PvE person or whatever, of course they've got the new dungeons, which playing in the beta, they were actually really nice. I love the theme of the new expansion. They got the new mounts, which, again, the theme of the new mounts is freaking amazing. They're really, Eastern dragon, kind of that whole Japanese, Chinese theme there. But they've also added in these things called scenarios and challenge modes. Now, scenarios are basically just, pretty much what they sound like. They basically throw you and two other people, so it's a three-man group. You don't have to have the tank, DPS, healer combo. You can go in as all three DPS if you want. Doesn't matter. And you basically just go through it, and, you earn loot at the end, and that's pretty much what it is. But challenge modes is basically you go into like a dungeon, and it's like a timed run thing. You basically try to speed run it as fast as you can, and depending on what medal you get at the end, because there's like gold, there's like bronze, silver, gold, whatever, depending on your time, you'll get loot based on how well you do. So you have that competitive thing.
See,
you can be
not
like,
only with that though, you have the leaderboard shit too. There's a leaderboard, and they're like, we cleared this within this certain time.
Yeah, I believe there is. I haven't really messed with it.
See, that's freaking awesome because, like, look, we're a better guild. We can drop this within this time. Yeah. And it's going to put that, you know how many people were just going to be like, shit, everybody just wipe it. We didn't hit it.
Yeah.
And go back in and do it again.
I see they redid a couple. Looking through this demo video, I noticed that they redid a couple of the old dungeons as well.
Oh, yeah.
Skullman's and Scarlet Hall Monastery.
Yeah. They brought that back for, I believe, 95.
Mm-hmm.
Or not 95, 90, my bad. 90, I believe they're like heroics, I think. I don't think they're regular. I think they're heroics only. I'm not sure. But yeah, they revamped those, which is awesome because those are two great instances. And
I always loved Skullman's. And Scarlet Monastery. Those were two of my favorites.
And it was kind of expected because near the end of Cataclysm, they actually did revamp the 1 to 60 like dungeons and stuff like that. They basically, like Dead Mines, they basically redid mobs. It's the same layout and stuff, but they redid like bosses, and mob layout and everything like that. So they've redone these instances, and I was like, Scarlet Monastery? Hell yeah, that was by far the most fun one from 1 to 60 that I did. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you have all that, and I saw Akima posted in the chat about the monk class. You do have the new monk class, which is awesome. It's like energy and chi. It's really weird. So it's basically like combo points with an energy bar, pretty much. But one thing that they actually announced a while back, I can't remember if we talked about it or not, but what they've actually done with MOP is in the last patch, I think it was like last week, it was the 5.0 patch, like 5.0.4. Mm-hmm. They basically released a new talent system and stuff like that, and basically what they did is they took it to where if you have the basic version of World of Warcraft, you can still make a Worgen or a Goblin or whatever. You don't have to have Cataclysm to make those races. So, if you don't have Mr. Pandaria right now, you can still make a Pandaren. You just can't make the monk class. The classes are still restricted to expansion, but the races are not anymore. So that's pretty cool. So now we got a bunch of pandas rolling around. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, pandas!" So
Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's cool. And I mean, I've got the 6 issue limited comics called PandaCon. So I mean, I'll be honest with you. I am a little tempted to do this just because I love pandas. I love monks, but because I had a monk in EverQuest, and so did my friend Eric.
yeah.
Had a monk in EverQuest, so we were used to the monk class because of that. So yeah, there is a temptation for me to do this, but I'm resisting it so far because Guild Wars.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and tell you, Adam is not going to buy this.
Yeah,
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and of course, I've been kind of raging all day because it is typical Blizzard launch of their expansion, just like with Cataclysm. Complete server instability. Like, they didn't know they were going to have millions of people.
I'm going to get my soundboard out here just a second.
So, I mean, I've been getting disconnected all day, and I've only actually been able to do 2 quests in Pandaria on my 85, which is a real buzzkill, but I have been able to do 2 dungeons as well, which was pretty cool. But
so would you say that your experience with Mr. Pandaria has been Mr. Diarrhea?
It's been pretty shit today, I'm not even gonna lie, because, like I said, Blizzard just... typical Blizzard launch, they act like they weren't ready for it, which I don't understand, It's like, you saw with Cataclysm and stuff, you know your sub numbers. You should expect this kind of, weight on your fucking server.
Yeah,
exactly.
That go ahead and hit that again for also the launch of D3, Diablo 3, same shit. It's horrible.
But they are. I think they're changing up some stuff as far as when they release raids, because they did say that they are waiting, I think, like 2 or 3 weeks before they actually release the raids. So it gives time for people to get their game, first of all, for people who aren't getting day one, hit 90, and get geared. So that way people don't feel like, oh my god, we got our, first, raid tier already out, let's go rush it, we have to go. You don't have to worry about that.
Right.
So
now
that's
actually they did that with did they do it with Burning Crusade or with which one did they do that?
I think they've done it with Burning Crusade, Lich King.
Lich King is the one I'm thinking of.
But I think this is the longest they've waited, because I think in the past expansions they've only waited like a week or so.
Yeah.
And I think they've already come out and said, yeah, we're gonna wait like 2 or 3 weeks before we release it. So I think that's a smart move. I think that's going to give everybody a more, I guess, kind of fair atmosphere with it, and it's going to make people not feel so rushed.
I really think it's the battle right now. I think it's between WoW and Guild Wars. That's the only 2 big heavy hitters right now.
Yeah, and one thing I've established yesterday when I actually bought this, because I just bought Mr. Pandaria yesterday, because I was thinking about it. Because I'm on the annual pass, so I'm locked in till November, right? And I was like, if I don't get MOP, I'm going to have all of October to where I'm not going to be playing it because I don't have MOP, so I have no reason to play it, and it's just going to be $15 out the window, And I was like, Guild Wars 2, everybody knows, was promoted as a majority, just mainly PvP-oriented game. There's dungeons, but there's no hardcore PvE content. So I was like, you know what? Guild Wars 2 will be my PvP game, and WoW will be my PvE. Which makes perfect sense to me. It's like you're only paying for one, and you get all this, raid content, dungeons, and all that stuff, and then you got Guild Wars with the awesome PvP. Like, I love the PvP in that game, as rage-inducing as it gets.
And I just got an update here on my side from Jennifer saying that she's going to buy me Mr. Pandaria, And she's like, you know you want it. I will burn that fucking game.
You know what? Let her buy it, physical copy for you, and you just send the code over to Solar Wolf. Me and him got some fucking raids and shit.
No. We give it away on the cast.
No, we are burning it. We are burning it for. I'm actually going to send it somewhere to a foreign country and let them burn it for firewood to keep warm. Because that's all this damn thing needs. I hate WoW, too, and it's so bad that I hate it that bad.
Hey, Stu, you willing to come on for a minute?
He should be.
I'll go. I'm
we
sure
get-
he
we
will
get-
be. Let me add him in here.
We get Stu to play some World of Warcraft.
No, you're not going to get Stu to play World of Warcraft.
Got him to play Guild Wars too.
We
I
did
doubt
get
you
him to
know.
play Guild
Doubt
Wars
me
2.
some more. Doubt me some more.
We did.
Everybody's like, nah, Stu ain't in MMOs. You're gonna get him to do it. Mm-hmm.
How come I can't find him?
Yeah, I mean,
There he is.
I rip on WoW a lot, and I make it extremely obvious my dislike of.
No, sadly, you're not getting me to play World of Warcraft.
But I mean, I've been, very open about my distaste for World of Warcraft. But yeah, I mean, when I look back and think about it, it's really been the only MMO that has been able to keep me entertained and keep pulling me back from these other games.
I call it the backup MMO. It's the backup for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm using it as my
pretty much.
PvE game, because all in all, from what I've seen from all the other MMOs I've played, WoW, in my opinion, has the best PvE and the easiest to access it, And I love that.
Right? Because they've been around for about 7 years.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
fine-tune that shit.
yeah, and I love it. I mean, I'll say, yeah, fuck WoW, that shit's fucking ridiculous, same graphics. Yeah, I still feel that way. I wish they would update the graphics because, frankly, it looks like ass. But the content that they have available for people and what you can do, it's just too much to be like, no, fuck it, all entirely and just move on to something else because it's going to be that game that always pulls me back.
Okay, the reason I pulled Stu in
Oh, no.
is
We
because of
We
what's
get to
happening.
praise him for playing MMOs finally.
We can praise
Congratulations.
him. He is on Guild Wars 2 with his fiancée.
And whipping my ass in levels.
Yeah, I'm
But-
new to the genre, and Mr. MMO player extraordinaire there
The one
is
without
a lower
hair.
level.
I have.
Yeah. But the real reason I brought Stu on is to talk about what's happening later on this week.
Wait, what's happening later on this
I don't
week?
know,
can't
some
remember.
huge event. I don't know. I don't know what this is called.
Oh, yeah, I know which one. It's Dave's birthday.
No.
Oh, no,
Hey,
it's not that one.
Everybody sing happy birthday to Dave. It's
What?
Dave's birthday.
Stop it. My birthday's in January. Stop it.
No,
No.
you're a gamer.
No, it's Eurogamer, folks. Stu, what are you going to be doing at Eurogamer for us?
Well, first of all, we need to explain
Ooh.
something to these people who don't know what Eurogamer is. Because, to be honest with you, some gamers don't know what Eurogamer is. So, Stu, what is Eurogamer?
Eurogamer is essentially what I like to call the UK's version of the E3. It started in 1999, so it started off quite small, and it's grown over the years. Last year you had about 36,000 people go to this event, and that, you get to see all the latest games early, developer talks, how to get a career in the games industry. You find out it's pretty much just the E3 but downsized for the UK. That's pretty much what it is, and it's brilliant that it's on my own doorstep because, I sit here every year and I'm like, I want to go to E3, but it's thousands of freaking miles away. And
It's
don't
just
have
across the
money.
pond, as you all say.
Just across the pond. Oh, yeah.
That's a big fucking pond.
just a bit.
Get some really good bass in there. Oh,
So
anyways.
what are we going to be doing, since this is going to be primarily Adam and Stu involved in this? What are we going to be doing special here on?
Okay, so what we're doing for Eurogamer, I did stream this earlier in the day, which there's a YouTube video up for it, but I will go over it again.
Shorts. You did.
Yeah, we've got interviews lined up, exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the new Razer controller. That's apparently specifically designed for Tekken Tag Tournament. Get my words right in a minute. Giveaways going on around the show floor, so we might have some swag for our own giveaways. Developer talks that will be also live streamed on our site via the events page that I'm just about to paste in the chat.
Which is crazy that we even got the rights, by the way, to be able to cast this stuff, because a lot of times people were like, no, we don't want you casting another cast of what's going on. They gave us full access rights to that, so we are good to go. I don't know what in the hell.
I'm on TV.
This little moth just comes like across, and it's like, what the hell?
It's a streaky moth. Oh my gosh, you ruined the show. I'm on TV.
Anyway, but yeah,
I'm also in cooperation with Nerd Junkies, Squall Muzzer, or Sam as some of you know him as. We're both teaming up for Eurogamer, and we're both filming different parts of Eurogamer and doing interviews together to get the content to Nerd Junkies and LagSpike TV. So you'll see content crossover with one another. So you'll see footage from Nerd Junkies, which is Saturday and Sunday, and our stuff over there as well.
yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. If you all want to see what me and Stu are gonna do, we're gonna do some testing early in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, my time. That's 4 a.m.
That would be 3
Just
a.m.
like-
my time.
Just like
Which
to point that out, that it's really effing early. Everybody's like, oh, at my other job, they're like, oh, you have 4 days off. And I'm like, no, that's not 4 days off or 5 days off in a row. That is actually working with my other job. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. Like, well, you're doing this convention. And I'm like, yeah, it's in the UK. They're 5 hours ahead of us. That's 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, oh, I bet you're going to be happy. I'm like, you don't understand. Being in front of a camera at 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to act normal.
Or hop up on some fucking energy drinks, bro. That's what I'm saying. Some 5 hours, bro.
Shit, it's going to be busting out the big cup again and fucking no coffee.
Ask Ron to send down his
The
Slurpee
big gulp.
cup.
Yeah.
Big, that's exactly it. Ron, go ahead and send me that. You can send that to me, P.O. Box. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting, because the fun thing is that if we get a lot of... The thing is we want to do as much live streaming as we can with this. The question is there networks? That's the big thing. With Dave at Wizard World, we got to play with the wonderful networks of, the cell phone networks that shut down the second day because there's so many people there. So this time we're trying to do with Wi-Fi, and it's gonna be iffy.
I've
with
got a mix
lot of that.
between Wi-Fi and cellular. Because
Yes.
apparently this year they've actually put up a second mobile tower, a portable one.
Oh wow! So they put a repeater up.
Because-
So
Yeah, because it got put in so much demand last year, it actually crashed that area of the network for a good 6 hours.
Well,
Nice.
at Wizard World,
Like,
there was a lot of complaints about the cell phone that second day, because there were a lot of vendors that had the credit card machines, and they were
Yeah.
using the cell phones with the credit card swipe attachments.
Oh, yeah.
And people were really kind of pissy about that for obvious reasons. A lot of the vendors were not very happy about that. Then, of course, I couldn't stream. I mean, there was no way in the world I could stream. So, which is why you ended up with a lot of stuff that's just got filmed. But that's just, you got to work with that stuff. That's what you get when you try to do an actual live stream and you're not sitting with the satellite truck outside the door. I mean, you see a lot of people that talk about, live streaming is you get crappy looks and oh, you're not high quality. Well, okay, we don't have a satellite truck, but
I will
we feel
now,
it's good to have the live because it's better. We want you to see the raw as it happens.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, come on. They led how many resolutions by cell phone this last summer?
Yeah, no joke. How many press rallies? How many things have been done by cell phones now? How much coverage has been done by cell phones now?
And things that are live.
That's why they're all pushing for 4G.
Exactly.
Yep.
The fastest.
We have
we
4G,
can
but
get.
it's not technically 4G. It is I love so
Well,
much.
yeah, I mean, I won't get 4G until sometime towards the end of next year because Orange is.
LTE, sir. That's what you could only hope for. LTE is apparently, I hate to say it, apparently the iPhone 4, I did my research on it, and apparently that shit's legit. I saw all the specs on it, so I'm pissed. Yeah, iPhone 5, sorry. Did I say 4?
You said 4.
I
have a 4. I need the 5.
The 5 is ridiculous. I'm just saying.
I will be getting the 5 before February.
Live streaming for Eurogamer will be done through my Windows phone.
Yep.
Which is actually fucking phenomenal through that thing. We tested around and played around with it. So that's going to be another thing that we're having. We're having HD cameras with us. So anything that we can't capture live or something's going wrong, we have a backup plan as always. So we're good to go.
So literally what's going to happen with that is I'm going to be carrying around my HD camera that, I've got the extended battery charged, I've got the other battery charged. Same with the 2 extended ones I've got with my Windows phone. So I've got ways of recording.
There you go.
All sorted. I've got access to the press area this year, so I can plug the camera in on charge if I need to.
Right.
Which is awesome to have now, or that we're finally. We'll be announcing some stuff here soon. But being press is great because you get access to a lot of things. I mean, that new Razer controller, to be able to see the fighting stick that they're having and getting hands on with that's going to be interesting because a lot of people don't really play games that are covering this stuff. They go
that, right? The fight stick.
Well, the thing is, it really pisses me off. You got a lot of these people that just go there and they're not, they don't really test stuff out. They're just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. That's it. And they don't really mess around. Okay, well, does this actually turn? Oh, yeah, that's kind of rough to turn, that way with the joystick if it's actually, accurate and all that stuff. We just lost Stu.
Yeah, we just lost Stu.
I think he's playing around with something on his end.
I think his net is hopping up and down. His net's been hopping up and down.
Yeah.
Which is okay. Well, I think we've got a good idea of what we're going to be planning on doing, and we're going to be doing it's going to be Thursday and Friday. We're going to be doing that. Oh boy, I think I lost. I think I'm dead.
What? No.
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry,
everything got went.
I think everybody's net's dying. Mine died earlier.
Yeah, I know.
The world is getting.
Well, I think
the world.
I think it's trying to tell us let's leave now, and then maybe Cosmic, if he can actually get in, might be able to broadcast a little some pandas.
I'm leveling my monk right now. It's just I'm kind of waiting for the 85 to like 80 whatever, like 86 area, the new zone, to die down a little bit so I can actually do quests over there. Because like I said earlier, I've only been able to do 2 quests.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people and it's so laggy over there.
Everywhere.
It's
See, that's
awesome.
what's great. So, all right. Final words, guys. Anything more that we want to say real quick before we cut?
Don't buy WoW. Don't buy WoW. Buy
Guild
By
Wars
Guild
2.
Wars 2. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, screw
If you want
Canada.
PvP.
We've visit our events page, which I'm going to link again, because that's where you can find out all the latest news on Eurogamer, as well as the
And-
live developer sessions.
And in November, we've got another one that we're going to be doing which is C4, which is the Canadian comic convention that Ron and Chuck from TV Pop Culture will be at. And in between there, we're going to do our first charity event. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to be doing a charity event for Extra Life.
Also, I'm going to say my one announcement that I announced earlier. LagSpike TV is going open platform, which allows you to post up your channels from multiple locations, come as one URL instead of your community having to follow you to each streaming service.
Got that damn bug.
You've got... That's right, the bug put me off. We've got community written reviews, news articles, and so much more coming this way, and that's planned for end of October, mid-November sort of time. Again,
Go ahead
you
and
can
say
read all the information at that URL.
Me and Stu have been working on I know you're like, another design. Yes, another design of the site.
This one's
But
going to
this
be permanent for a while.
This one is a new skin on the outside. Same guts, new skin. And this is just... I'm just saying, there was a quote that I said earlier about the background and the texture that it looks. It's so sexy that it's called a sexture. That's all I'm going to say.
Also, we will be seeing the return, hopefully, here of Arcade.
Yes.
Which was supposed to be
Okay.
last week, Adam.
Well, no, I got a question. Well, I had to get everything back up and running on this shit because my shit dying. We got questions for guys out there and girls out there that we do have girls and guys watching, which is kind of crazy. Which would you rather see? Would you rather see on Sunday evenings at like later time, or would you rather it be Saturday or Friday nights? So Friday nights would be really late. Saturdays would be, random time of some time. I don't know, whenever you all
Probably
would
like
want
what,
to be.
midday? Probably midday.
Possibly midday. The other one would be Sunday nights late. So
Yeah.
that's a question I got for you guys if you all want to.
Yeah.
And if you
Throw
want, if you're seeing this on YouTube, you can put in your comments which would
Yeah,
you would
because
rather
we
do.
need input because we are completely lost about when we want to do this. What's a good time for everybody? So
Yeah, it was Fridays late at night, Saturdays, random times during the days. Sundays would be late in the evening, like maybe, I don't know, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
something like that.
I would say if, Friday would be primarily the best sort of time.
Friday would be late, though. Like,
Yeah.
late, probably 10, 11 o'clock. Probably 11 o'clock, 12.
Yeah. Well,
So.
we'll let them see what we get for some input on that. Also, stay tuned. LSW will be coming back as well, and that
October.
will be near the end of October. That'll be coming back, I believe, and there'll be some surprises.
you can get
We
your
gotta-
ass on.
I feel like this has been like, and also another
Yeah, I know,
thing
we're gonna
out,
do it.
because
We're
there was
just
all
trying-
kinds of stuff for us.
We are
Because-
planning a lot, as you can tell,
Uh,
guys. We are expanding. That is really what it ultimately comes down to.
Yeah, we've
Our plans are really grandiose, but it's also a 3 to 5 year plan. So we have a long-term outlook coming for what we want to do, and you guys will be a part of it. And that's the entire key to this all, is you guys. We're doing this.
we're Sony
You
now.
guys.
We got a 10-year plan on us.
We're
Anyway, but yeah,
running around
I
with a
think
little
we've-
Maoist flag. 5-year plan! 5-year plan! No, it's...
Yeah, but I think we've all pretty much got our kind of downtime, I guess, as far as shows go. We're ready to bust it out again.
Bust them out again. I had to get a new schedule. That's the reason why shows really haven't been happening for me. I actually got work to be able to do mornings for me, and then evenings to be able to do shows and stuff like that, and work for the website was Stu.
And then for me, let's see, sometime in the next couple months, by the end of the year, may be having this huge moving and shifting of people around in this house. So, and I'm going to be getting a job. So, yeah, that's going to be my shit. So,
And me and Dave can drop some info here later on with a big surprise.
Hopefully, here that big surprise might be right at the start of Eurogamer if we get this right.
Yeah, so we'll announce that on Facebook. So there you go. If you haven't hit us on Facebook, let's hit the links up in the room, and I will do that right now.
Right.
Bam. And the bot doesn't like me.
because the
bot's not in there.
That would be a problem.
Ron is redoing the bot.
Okay.
So there is no bot. No, we're not going to drop any pants.
No, there's no dropping pants. That would be a comedy show, so everybody could laugh.
That would be on Justin.tv and not Twitch.tv.
Yeah.
For that reason. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right.
That's it for now. And like I said, if Cosmic wants to broadcast or his gameplay, we'll see whether or not he wants to or not. But thank you for
if I don't
joining us.
break my computer by then.
Yeah, exactly. So, thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you next week, and hopefully at the same time. That's what the plan is now. So,
Yep.
we shall see.
Over.
There you go.
And I hate when it does that.